Hi there. Now, I'd been meaning to do this video for quite some time now, but I just never really had the proper camera to do it. But now that I do, I thought I would get to it. Now, this here is the First4Figures classic Sonic statue, which was released back in 2009. It was the start of the classic Sonic line, so it basically was the launch of the whole thing, and what a launch it was. Yeah, the thing is, back when this was made, there had been really no modern rendition of classic. I mean, Generations hadn't been out back then, and classic Sonic merchandise was mainly relegated to the 90s stuff, like the Sonic the Fighters plush and this basket holder plush, for instance. But back whenever First4Figures did this statue, there had never been anything quite as accurately representing of Sonic the Hedgehog in his Needle Mouse classic form as there is here. Now, I got this year, right, and it's back in April, and it was also it was a wee negotiation with the seller, who was happy to get with you know, the amount of money that I offered, and basically this piece was always my most desired of the Sonic series, right next to the SC2 plush and the Sonic the Fighters Super Sonic plush, which I don't actually have at the moment, but that's another topic. But if you actually look at it, this statue is now I would say 7 years old, and the detail on it is still marvellous, and it's in the mintest condition possible. There is no paint scrapes, there's nothing. The colour is perfect. But the thing is as well, these statues were made by slightly different manufacturing companies at First4Figures. So there was one side, and then you had another side. I'm not quite sure all the details about it, but basically some shoes, some versions were maybe a bit taller in size, and some maybe had different sort of shine to the shoes. If you actually look here, the shoes are just immaculate. They have the perfect shine. I put a light on to show how prominent that is, and let me try and get the yellow buckle part into it. See, everything was kept really accurate, and even the grass, although it's a bit sharp and obviously not recommended for kids to be playing around with, because, you know, it's a collectible, not meant for playing. The grass from Green Hill looks really nice and is clearly very well thought out. I think it was James West who did the base for this, or somebody like that. No, it was the guy who made this was this is the box here. Lou. Lou Bin, yeah. But yeah, he really did. He really clearly was, you know, a fan of it, or at least had looked at the official artwork back when Sonic 1 was released, because this is artwork that is not too well known of Sonic. I mean, we've never had him in this sort of a snarky pose, although some people don't really like this pose because it can look like he's flicking his nose, and that doesn't feel very it just seems a bit off-putting, I guess. But the pose never really bothered me because well, as it was a unique take on the character himself, we always knew what, like, his hands curled next to his body, or you know, the pointing the finger, the waggling the finger, or something like that. So he's still doing something with his finger, which makes it seem all the more snarky, as you would expect, but not too in your face, because obviously this is a very when you actually look at it, it seems like a very laid back kind of a Sonic that we've got here. He's not too extreme, for instance, and I like that. And of course, all F4F statues come with an authenticity card. This is one of the best ones, I would say, because of the fact it has the artwork directly on it. A lot of the later ones, like the Knuckles statue that I've got here, a lot of them tend to have a photograph of the statue itself on it, and they don't actually show the artwork. So I really like the fact they showed the artwork here. It's really nice, because probably not a lot of people were familiar with this before First4Figures and Lubin did their the thing with it. But yeah, you authenticate this, and it's supposed to every single statue subsequently, when you keep on authenticating, you get the same number each time. The number of this statue is pretty high. Let's have a look here. Yeah, very high. It's 1,499. So it's like one of the latest models of it. But in a sense, I'm not really too bored by it, because I think, you know, it didn't really matter what the number really was for the statue, because, as I say, I think I've got one of the best versions of it, because, well, the legs are perfectly in proportion with his body, the colours are just popping in detail, and the shine to his shoes is, you know, is accentuated in this particular model. So actually, I think the value is intact for that very reason. And if you're trying to get this down in the market, like, this is not the easiest one to find. This is not the easiest statue to find of Sonic. If you were to look for something more within a reasonable price range, I would say something like the Generations diorama statue, or maybe even the Tails one, provided it's not the exclusive. You know, these kinds of ones are probably more within a reasonable price range. I mean, even Metal Sonic, if you're not concerned with exclusive, because as times went on, this Sonic statue has become pretty sought after by fans because of how popular it was when it was first released, and now, 7 years later, it's still high demand. And if you can get this for, I would say, 200, I would say definitely go for it if you're a fan of this design itself. I've always been a fan of this design. It was one of my favourites because of how much it reminds me of classics like Mickey Mouse, and, you know, stuff like that, like the needle nose, and which is just perfect if you actually have a look at it here. It's wonderful that these tiny little details, not just the shine itself, but the way things are shaped and moulded. So if the pose doesn't catch your attention, things like his arm, the way his shoes are, how shiny his shoes are, and the overall design, I think, would more than satisfy any Sonic fans' need for something that reminds them of the Genesis / Mega Drive days. And for that reason, it is definitely worthy of a pickup, provided you get it reasonably priced. And for now, I think I will put this back into the glass case with Tanuki Mario, because I thought particularly well next to each other. It's really good that it's all together. It's all in one piece. I'll review this at some point. This Mario 64 Plus, this is one of my... This is a truly great piece to own. I'll actually explain the difference between that and the BD and A version, because there is one key difference which I think makes it better than the BD and A version. But apart from that, this was my review of the classic Sonic statue, and the box as well is really nice and actually has the picture of the statue on it, which I think works for advertising it as such, but you still get the artwork at the back. So in this box, Sonic was very snug in it, so you shouldn't have any problems with it breaking in the mail. I didn't have any, but well, that's all for now guys. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.